Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Judy's Creations in Crochet. Today is June the 2nd, 2022, and Kiki has stopped by to say hello in her new June outfit. Again, I just used two mini skeins and put them together. I wanted something bright and colorful for the summer, and not sure if you can see, but it has sparkle in it. I didn't do anything fancy this month. Nothing much happening in June. But Kiki says hello. My setup is a little bit off today simply because I do not have it mounted as I should, because we are going to head outside in just a moment because I had promised you that hopefully we would be able to do a tour of my gardens this week, and we are going to do just exactly that. So I have the camera propped up so that I can easily take it and go outside in a couple of minutes. I wanted to give you a little background and explanation about my gardens before we head out. But for anybody that's joining us for the first time, that's new to my channel, I want to say welcome, and I hope you enjoy our video today. It is going to be different than usual because I am mostly about crochet and showing crochet finished items and yarn. I like to buy hand-dyed yarn and show it to my viewers so they can see different yarns from different indie dyers. So if this is the kind of content you like, please stay around and hit that subscribe button. But today, for a change, uh, because I took some time off to work in my gardens and people seem to be interested in seeing what I'm doing in the gardens, we're going to take a tour of the gardens first, and then we come back. I have a surprise item to show you. So, just to explain about these gardens, these are not your typical gardens with lots of flowers, or some of you may do vegetable gardens or even herb gardens. That was not how this got started. I have you'll see when we get out there, I have a huge maple tree in my backyard. And it's a special tree to me, and it got very big, and it got to the point where my backyard, one whole half of it, would not even grow grass. What it was good at was growing weeds, and I didn't know what to do about it. But one day I happened to be at a hosta nursery about an hour from me, and they have an amazing display garden. They sell about 16 or 1700 varieties of hostas. Their display garden, their own personal garden, has 1300 or so different varieties. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's exactly what I need in my backyard. So I thought, I'm going to just tear it all out and make a hosta garden. Well, of course, that wasn't quite feasible. But what I'm going to do while I'm talking here for a minute is insert a few pictures just to give you an idea of what this garden looked like before I ever had this idea. It didn't grow anything much but weeds, and even cutting the grass was difficult. So that was when I got the idea to tear out the backyard and plant hostas. Well, I had to do it in a couple of stages. So while we're on our way to walk out to see the gardens, I'm going to explain about stage 1 and stage 2, and then I'll show you what the garden looks like. And then I moved around to my front yard for stage 3, and I'll show you that at the end. So I'm not going to talk too much here anymore. I'm going to talk while we walk, and there will be pictures coming up showing you what I am talking about. They came at the end of the summer, Labor Day weekend, and they tore out the actual backyard from straight out from my patio and over to the right side of the yard, all of which was under the great big tree that I'll be showing you shortly. They also put down a whole layer of river rock around the base of the tree. And here are some pictures to show you when they first tore up that part of the backyard. And then you can see, as we look to the right of the yard, that there are a few plants planted. They look kind of sickly, but that was the first group. I ordered about a dozen hostas, and I planted them that September of phase 1. Now I'm going to put in some pictures showing the following spring. They came back to do phase 2. And in phase 2, they put down the stepping stones that went out from the patio and made a nice walkway. The walkway goes behind my shed, and you can see that the walkway heads on over to the far right corner so that workmen can get at the telephone box. And the walkway goes off to the left of the tree and heads over to the gate at the back of the yard. Then after all of the walking stones were put down, they then cut out a garden around the perimeter of the far side, the left side of the yard. And again, I have more pictures showing you where they cut that out. And you can look at the pictures I'm inserting here that showed you that very first summer that I planted a number of hostas all around, spread out throughout the backyard. My original intention was to try to put in 200 hostas eventually, which I knew would take a bit of time. I actually did manage to get to 200 one year, but then I had a couple of bad winters and I lost a number of them. Currently, at the moment, I have 180 different varieties in my yards, and I have 7 extras that are duplicates. So this is this afternoon, standing on my patio, looking out to the backyard as it is today. You'll see that the garden looks very, very different. Not only moss is growing up between the stepping stones, but you'll also notice in the back garden that the plants are not all in the ground. A lot more plants than they were 5 years ago. But the noticeable thing is that there are only a few in the actual ground. I found that the tree, along with the cedars to the right of my property and my tree, the roots were causing a problem for the plants. The plants could not survive because of the large roots from the tree. So I've had to put them in pots, and actually I don't mind that. I can move them around and they can get varying amounts of sunshine. Here's a good look at the tree. You can see how large this tree is. And it was only planted about 40 years ago. It's amazing how large this tree has gotten. So there are a lot of them that are in pots, as you can see. And I have different areas or sections in the garden. I have had to pull some out that were almost dead out of the ground and baby them in pots. I don't know the name of all of the plants, but I do know the names of a large percentage of them. And I buy them somewhat according to names, sometimes according to the look of the plant. I try to vary the plants. You can see now to the far left, some of them are getting much larger. They are 5 years old and they still haven't reached their full capacity. I have one section here in the garden I want to show you. Some of you may know that I'm a line dance teacher, and I have this section called my dance section of the garden. So here at the back are the two biggest ones. The one to the left in the pot is called One Last Dance, and the yellowy one next to it in the ground is called Dancing Queen. Do we have any ABBA fans out there? And then we have little ones. Did you know they come small? That's called Dancing Mouse. And the next one is Sky Dancer. And then we have First Dance and Celtic Dancer. And I think I have two more dancing hostas on order. But they vary in size and shape. Some, as you can see, are in pots, some in the ground, some are small, some medium-sized. This particular garden has more of the larger ones. They aren't having as much trouble in the ground with the trees, so I could leave more of them in the ground. And they are getting bigger, although it's taking a while. This one has been 5 years getting to this size, and that's the biggest it's been this year. This year is a good year for the plants. This one right here is called Christmas Candy. And a couple more larger ones. And here's a favorite of mine. This one I think is quite unique, and it's called Snake Eyes. Isn't that neat coloring, the way it stripes? And here's a lilac. It's not doing as well as the ones in the front yard. It doesn't get really enough sun to do well, but it still smells nice. You see, the sun goes down in that back corner, so that's when we get some sunshine through part of the yard. I hope I'm not making you dizzy, but now we'll leave the backyard. A couple more before we leave. And we'll head over to the patio again. The sun makes it a little hard to see some of the plants. And here's one that's all what I call mice. The one in the back is called Blue Mouse Ears. The one to the left you can see is called Mousetrap. This spring I relabeled every single one of my hostas. In the past I had them labeled with these plastic labels, and the names tend to fade in the sunshine. So I've gotten all of these new bamboo labels, because the others not only fade, but they come out of the ground and they break and they get lost. And I do want to keep track of the names. So these are some of my little mice hostas. Because I have mice and small hostas as well as big hostas, that's why I'm able to have so many in such a small space. This is golden needles on the right, silver threads and golden needles on the left. Yes, I picked them because of their name. Just showing you a few others. That's Teeny Weeny Bikini. Both sides of my patio are decorated with hostas. You can see little ones there again. And over on the far side, some that are a little bit bigger. That one's called Colored Hulk. Center of Attention. This one's called Wee and Feng Shui. Curly Fries, Ghost Spirit. And I want to show you this unique one. This white one is called White Feathers. Comes out completely white first thing in the spring, and then the veins start to turn green throughout the summer. It'll get more and more green until it's almost completely green in probably August. And this one is called Yellow Polka Dot Bikini, the one here on the top. And I'm proud of that one because it's bigger than usual. And notice how it looks so much like Snake Eyes, same family. Well, this is phase 3 at the front of the house. I only have one picture from before, and that shows the dead Rose of Sharon at the front and a very small garden. Now you can see it coming out from the front of the house towards the street and making it larger, and then going off to the side. It went out to the property line and down along the side of the house to the fence at the backyard. So here is the front garden, and you can see a hosta there just under my lilac bush, and this is the one out at the street. And you see another hosta there. And we're going to turn, and after looking at this hosta, we're going to turn and look at the front of the house so you can see from the same perspective as those pictures were showing. So you can see the garden looks much bigger, and it's fuller than those last pictures. The lilac bush is just about reaching the end of its beauty, although I can still smell the beautiful lilac scent. Now we'll move towards the front of the house so you can see the work that was done there. I have a couple of pots with hostas in them in the front because, again, there were a couple of areas that had trouble growing a hosta. And I also have to be careful about finding hostas that are sun tolerant. So here are the 2 lilac bushes at the front and my burning bush in the center. And this tree they put in is called a weeping redbud. I was expecting it to be taller. I hope it does eventually grow. I want it to give some shade. Although hostas are known as shade plants, I did look for some sun-tolerant plants, and these are all sun-tolerant hostas. This one on the right is September Sun, and then we get Paradise Restored and Parky's Gold. And see my Asiatic Lilies. The one on the right is normal. The one on the left got way bigger than usual. And that's Croceriga going straight up. There's a very small one. I just planted it last year. And then we get Abadabadoo back there. And that one is, I forget right now, Revolution. That one's Revolution. But that little one was planted last year because I started to lose another one. It didn't take the heat. But I love those 4 there together. They are really big, like you expect a hosta to be. And they have done very, very well, despite the fact that they get sun all morning and well into the afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed that little trip through the gardens. I had to actually go out 2 different times to videotape that because the sun was causing far too much glare for you to be able to see anything. But now you know what I have been busy on. I still have one more thing to do, and that is when the lilacs are finished, which will be probably within a week. I then have to trim all of my bushes, and that's a bit of a job as well. So now we're back inside. And the first thing I want to show you, as you saw by the title, is for the first time this month, the month of May, I ordered one of Reggie's Wacky Holiday subscription boxes. And this is the one about socks, the missing sock or something like that. And it arrived just a couple days ago. So this is the box that it comes in, taped with her logo. And when you open it, I have already looked at it, I'm sorry to say. This is what comes inside. Now, it's all about socks this month, so I'm going to go down in and pull out the papers first. And you get this postcard, and it's called Lost Sock Memorial Day, celebrated annually on May the 9th, and it honors all the socks that are no longer with us. Where did they go? We're not certain, but what we do know is that losing one sock of a perfectly matched pair is a worldwide spread phenomenon. On this day, we stand together to pay tribute to our dearly departed socks, and we offer some clever ways to honor our lost socks and help those surviving socks press on. She has picked some kind of funny days to celebrate. So anyway, the box comes with, and I'm going to list it all, just show you, but it comes with this card. And then it comes with two patterns, and in this case, I think she knows who she's sending to, because I saw somebody else's box, and it looked to me like they had a knitted pattern. And of course, I'm not a knitter, but she sent me a crochet pattern for socks. Now, those of you that follow me know I've never crocheted a pair of socks in my life. But one day I think I'm going to attempt it. I'm not in a rush to make socks because I don't wear socks that much. But anyway, you get this crocheted pattern for socks, and I thought this was cute. Make a sock bunny. This is for you, Carrie. This is a tutorial of how to use one of those odd socks that you have in your drawer. And it is really quite adorable. So those are the two patterns that came in it. And I also received, we'll do this one by one. This comes apart. This is what you put between your toes. So socks, we're talking about our feet. I guess we're going to get a pedicure. So we first get this. That's pretty useful. And then next we get a package, Yves Rocher, of emery boards for our nails. I'll probably use it on my fingers. And then we have, I'm saving the yarn for last. At the bottom with the others, we got this little pouch with J Hook logo on it. And I'm beginning to get more hooks than I can keep in my special storage units for hooks. So I just might be using this for hooks. That'll come in handy. And the next thing, and I didn't open this. I know what it is, but I didn't open it. So I'll open it now. And this looks like a tube of nail polish. So what color did we get? Did she know who she was sending it to? There we go. Let's open this up. It looks like, yes, I don't think everybody got purple. So I think she knew she was sending it to me because she knows I like purple and blue. And that is a very pretty color, a color I would choose. I don't ever get my fingernails done because I did it once and the whole top layers of my fingernails actually came off and my nails were splitting and bending and breaking. So I don't do my fingernails, but I do get a pedicure every year at this time. After I've finished my major garden work, I go and get a pedicure, and then I get another one usually at the end of the summer. So I will be getting a pedicure, and I will either give myself one, which doesn't turn out very good, or I'll go and get one done, but I'll take this with me. I think I'll ask them if they have some sparkle to put on it. I like that color. Thanks, Reggie. I think you knew who you were sending it to. And then we also, of course, get some yarn. And this time it's by Amelie. And so we get a nice little tote bag, which would be a good size for making a pair of socks. But I make some other small things too. And then first of all, I'll bring out her card. There's her card. And I'm guessing this is the color name on the back, where all the lost socks go. Now, I also think that everybody did not get the same color of yarn, because I did see one box somebody posted on Reggie's Facebook page, and I don't think the color of yarn was quite the same color as mine, but it's definitely in my color range. Isn't that pretty? Pinks and blues, nice and springy looking. It's merino, fingering, 2-ply, 425 meters. It's 75% merino, 25% nylon, which is, oh no, I don't know what this card is about, but here is the color name, and it's called Sock Heaven. The yarn I saw on Reggie's Facebook page, it looked darker or heavier. Maybe it was just the picture that made it look different, but I mean, it feels nice. Merino nylon blend, very nice. And I love fingering yarn, and I can see working with this. I'm not sure if I'll do it just itself, or I'll put it together with maybe a blue and a pink yarn, put 3 together. I don't know, but it's very pretty and it feels nice. So thank you, Reggie. I don't generally get subscription boxes, but I am happy with this. No yellow in it, so that pleases me very much, and I'm very pleased with this. Definitely a color I would choose for my toes. So I'll just put this aside, and I have one other group of skeins of yarn that I got, and I got this one probably a month or more ago, and I just haven't had time to show you, so I will show you this yarn today. This is from a company called Subculture. Subculture Yarn it's hand dyed on Vancouver Island. So it's off the west coast of Canada, Vancouver Island. And this one is a merino superwash, merino nylon blend, 80-20%, 3-ply, 420 yards. Interesting colors, called Rainy Oil Slick. Definitely has that kind of a look about it. So that is a merino nylon fingering. And this next one is also the exact same kind of yarn, everything the same except the color. And the color of this one is called Moon Phase. Lots of pretty colors, and yes, there is some yellow in it, but a yellow that is pale like this doesn't bother me, and it won't show up that much either. That's pretty. Again, feels soft. And let's see, I have some others, but they aren't all the same. Merino, okay, these are called Merino Nylon Fingering, and they are 3-ply, these two I showed you. This next one is called Merino Fingering Single. So it's 1-ply. I think you can see the difference. See it 1-ply, whereas when you look at with more than 1-ply, in this case 3-ply, you can see the twist. See the twist? Maybe back here you can see it better. See the twist in it? See the plies twisted, but this is a single, no twist. And I really like, that's my preference. I love the smoothness of a single ply. So now this is a little different color. And it is called Galloping Goose. That should be interesting. I like that. I was looking to try to get some things that are a little different than I usually get. Now this gets back to my old thing. This is superwash merino bamboo rayon nylon fingering. So it's 70% merino, 20% bamboo, and 10% nylon. And it has 460 yards in it. And you can see my kind of colors. Isn't that pretty? And this is called Sakatumi. Would have been good in Reggie's subscription box. Yeah, I quite like the colors. And this this does feel just a teeny bit softer than this one. The single ply, both the same. Very nice, very nice. And finally, we're not surprised at this one. Can you see it? See that pretty sparkle? Right. And this is very similar to the oil slick one, but it's a little lighter. I really, really like this one and the colors. And this is, again, superwash merino and a stellina fingering. So it's 84% merino and 16% stellina. Again, it's a 3-ply, 420 yards per hank. But of course, it has that sparkle. So it has the colors I like and that lovely sparkle. So pretty. So again, that is Subculture Yarn, hand painted by MJ, and it is in, they are in Vancouver Island. Now, I don't think I found them on Etsy, but I will definitely put a link to them in the description box below if you're interested in seeing what else they have to offer. So that catches me up with all the hand-dyed yarn I have ordered in the last while. I have no more sitting around to show you, other than what I usually get from EFA. I don't show you all of that. But I have made another order of 1 or 2 that will be coming very soon. I might have one to show you. I'm sure I'll have one to show you next week. So let's talk about next week. And before I do that, I want to talk about sending me pictures of things you have completed. I asked you to send me things for the summer yarny YouTube hop, and that's coming up really soon. In less than 2 weeks, I have to have the video ready and give the link to Kim from Crafty Nomad, who's in charge. So if you still have something summery you want to send me, you have about 10 days to send it to me. And I've already had, I'm thinking 4, maybe even 5 people have sent me something that I can show, and I'm really, really happy about that. I really appreciate it. Then I told you I wanted you to send in anything at all for my channel to show, things that you've done, because, for instance, I mentioned designer CJ Brady, and I had a couple people do some of her designs and send me pictures, and other people sent me things that they did because they were inspired by something I showed them. And I was going to show that in the middle of June, but I've decided that since I will be showing pictures on the Summer Yarny YouTube hop, and I do have a few to show there, that I would wait and do the other pictures sometime in July, early to mid-July. So that gives all of you a little more time if you want to send me something that you're not really sure is summery, something that you've been inspired to make because of things I've shown or discussed. I'd love to get any pictures you have. I'm getting a nice little collection, and I'm going to do that in July. So next week is just going to be a regular week. I have a few things I've finished. Didn't show you any finished objects this week, but that's because I wanted to be sure to have enough for next week. I've been working on summer hats. I have a few of those and some other summer ideas for my summer craft show at the end of June, which will be here before we know it, less than 4 weeks. So we'll be looking at items I am making for the craft show next week. And possibly I'll have one order of yarn that I will get in by them. So until then, happy hooking.